Howdy everybody, welcome to the second tank video. So this is the tanks section, and I'm working on it with Brad here. He came over to help me out. As always, I appreciate his help, and I do a lot of speaking on this video, not my voiceover kind of stuff, so I don't have a whole lot of time, so I wanted to get my dad jokes in quick. So here are a couple of dad jokes. So, which state has the most streets? Rhode Island, obviously. Jeez. That one's dumb. And this one's a little bit better. What did the coffee report? What did the coffee report to the police? A mugging. A mugging. That's so dumb. Ah, it kills me. Okay, so those are your jokes for the day. So basically what Brad and I are doing here is just prepping the skins for, so you have to prep them for a lot of things. The first thing you got to do is you got to, well, get the edges obviously filed down so they're nice. You got to make sure you know which holes are going to get dimpled and which ones aren't. You have to know which way, like I was just holding the fill cap, you have to know which way to put the fill cap on and all of that good stuff. And so that's pretty much what we're doing here, is just trying to figure out which holes need what. And the holes that are across the top, or the, I guess the top of how they're sitting now, need countersunk. And so you have to countersink the whole way across there, so you could fit that baffle that goes on the back. So that was fun. Okay, so I have been working on the fuel tanks. See them there? I did make an extra set of the holders over here. And remember I said that they needed to be a little bit thicker so that if you laid it down on its side, it wouldn't hit these. So I'd made these a little bit thicker so they're not like these ones. You see, real thin. And so it hits these guys if you lay them down. So the tanks are a little bit more, let's just say I'm a little bit more worried about them. I'm kind of stressing out about them, but we're getting there. We're working on them. We have them kind of in progress, so we'll see how it goes. So see ya. So that is a really good tip that you probably I should probably go put on some of the first videos when you do those, the wings. But the little stands you make sure they're wide enough so you can lay them down. That's a kind of an important thing, because you will be laying those things down a goodly amount of time. So make sure you do that. Right? Why does it say or? Why does it say or? It says, machine countersink the number 40 holes in the tank attach brackets, to accept the dimples in the left and right fuel tank skin or the 5B and 5C shims. Or, because it does them both, maybe? I don't know. Let's try, I think, how is that supposed to go in there? Let's look. I've been finding myself doing this a lot too. Like going back and looking at this big old picture, how everything's supposed to be, and then saying, okay, how does this fit? So this is the left tank, which is the other side. So that's the right tank, right? That's the top. Nope, this is the left tank. That's the left wing, it goes on this one. I wrote on them, but I didn't. So let's look at that. Let's figure out what tank we're even looking at. That would be the first thing. So
The gas cap is on the outboard side of the airplane. And so if we're going forward, so this is forward, this is the top. Let's write that on there. So this is the top. This is the outboard side. And this is the inboard side. And then this is the bottom. Okay. If that's going that way and that's on the outboard side, that would be the left wing. So that is the left wing. Okay. So left wing. This guy goes like this inside how's that? Because that's reversed. So look at it this way. That's over there. This points on the inside, and those point towards the back. So this goes in here like this, over here.
So you will find yourself doing that a lot, like putting it together just to figure out how it's supposed to go together, because it is confusing.
Okay, so that's how that guy fits in there, at least I think. Yep, from that image right there, I can say that that is pretty good. And then the bigger one of these, this guy, goes forward facing. Like this, right? So I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. Okay. And then the bottom one goes on the bottom. Okay, that says machine countersink the number 40 holes, and because the tank ones get, those need machine countersunk as well. Okay, so that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me, I guess. Got to machine countersink all of them.
So that whole part of this video, so the last, let's say 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes or so, was just so I could confirm to myself that I needed to countersink these pieces all the way down, not just on the outside of them. So it is really weird when you're building the plane that, I mean, the instructions are pretty doggone good, but it gets confusing at times, and you have to kind of work it out in your mind. It's like, okay, which way is this facing? Okay, is this the top or is this the bottom? Okay, is this forward or is this aft? And you end up doing that a lot, and then you put it together just to kind of make sure you're sane, because there are times when you're like, okay, I am insane because I have no clue what I'm doing here. But when you put it together and it all kind of fits together, you're like, oh, okay, that's what they were talking about in the instructions when they said, X, Y, or Z. And you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then putting it together seems easy at that point. But you have to go through that process of, okay, how is this supposed to fit together? That mental process has to be completed just so you're sure and you don't make a mistake. I mean, you don't want to be buying extra pieces. I've done that plenty of times, but you try not to do that anyway. So just be prepared. You're going to put stuff together, take it apart, put stuff together just to figure out what's going on.
So it says, don't prime anything that's inside the tank, and that makes sense, right? So I'm going to wait to prime the tanks, and I'm just going to do the outside. Once it's all pressure tested, good to go, tanks are good, then I will tape up the outside and prime the outside edges. I think that might be the easiest way to go about doing it. Instead of saying, oh, here's the line, and then taping stuff off, and then hopefully not getting oversprayed some places. I'm just going to wait until the tanks are completely done, together, tested, pressure tested, and then I will prime the outside of them. Hope that's the right decision. I don't know.
So you're going to do that a lot too. Be like, I don't know, but press forward anyway. That's just kind of par for the course. And if it's wrong, you'll buy new pieces and start over. It's not a big deal. But right here, I'm just deburring the pieces where the little, I think they're VA 141s or 112s. I forget what they're called, but they're the little hinge bracket things that go in the holes there. So you just saw me set it on there. And so I'm just, final drilling those guys, getting things set up for those attach brackets. And I did say, hey, I was going to, do the priming after they were all pressure tested and everything. That did not happen. Just FYI, you will see in the next video that I did decide to prime the parts that were on the outside. And I think there were two reasons for it. One, I was afraid to start using the tank sealant, and it scared me, and so I just put it off for as long as humanly possible. And two, I was thinking, why not? I have the time. It's the holiday season kind of stuff, and I was like, I have the time. Let's just do it. Let's get it out of the way. And so it's not perfectly primed. I'll probably have to go back and do a few other little things on that, but for the most part, they're pretty much primed right now. So as always, like and subscribe, and we'll see you later. See ya.